Welcome everyone to Jugo with Agricultor. Today I'm going to show you how to make the juiciest, most greasiest hamburger ever. Or not. I'm actually going to show you how to get the best out of God's natural own provisions to mankind, our fruits and vegetables. So this recipe calls for the most basic, your everyday fruits and vegetables. We're going to use today a recipe that I've been following at home. This calls for a lot of fruits and vegetables. What I would like to do is introduce you to my friend, the Green Star Juicer. Available online. Now, I'm not promoting the Green Star Juicer. I'm not getting paid for this, okay, folks? To be honest with you, this was a Christmas present by my beautiful and lovely mother-in-law. I would almost dare and say this is kind of industrial because of its weight, but it's made specifically with the sole intention for you and I, as a consumer, to obtain optimum juice, to suck the life out of these fruits and vegetables, and for us to obtain the most juice out of our fruits and vegetables, which you will see here in a minute how it works and how it functions and how it does that for you. So next, we're gonna cut up some of these fruits and vegetables. So a grape, you know what? You don't really need to do much to a grape. Maybe cut off the stem or whatever this little thing is called. Cut it in half. And let me not forget that all fruits and vegetables, please folks, wash them thoroughly before you consume them. What I do is I just slice it. Next, we can go straight for a carrot. Now you can do these in no particular order, folks, but what I like to do as I'm putting them in a tray or in a container, I like to mix them up so when I do move on to juicing them, I'm grabbing a handful of mixed fruits and vegetables, not just one. And that essentially, I think what it does is it gives you a better juicing experience, a better flavor, a better mix, a better blend overall. A carrot, you know what? I usually cut the tip off of this. You don't need to. I mean, that's just, it's up to your like. And depending on how thick the carrot is, you know, sometimes I cut it right down the middle. And I just cut it into tiny chunks. Next, we could take this here cucumber. And you know what? There's no particular way of cutting this either. I just, I think last time what I did is that I cut it right down the middle into 4 pieces, into spears, I guess you would call them. Next, why not go with an orange? What I usually do is cut these into wedges, and I just peel them. This juicer is strong enough to grind the peels, but like I said, to each its own. I prefer to not do that. And remember, folks, save your peels. Save any fruits and vegetables leftovers, and toss them in your compost. If you know a friend or a family member that has a compost, help them out because this always helps. And with the orange, you actually what I do is just to make them to smaller pieces. Smaller pieces. I work better with smaller pieces. So next, we are going to add 1 whole grapefruit, and like the oranges, I just cut into wedges. You might have to cut these a little bit more because they're obviously it's a bigger fruit, bigger size fruit. So, but just wedge them out. Take the peel off. We could take a regular mango. Now, remember the recipe calls for 1 regular mango and 1 tropical mango. But now a mango, what I do is that I do peel it It's just my preference. And the skin, most of the time on a mango, is very easy to take off. Depending on how ripe the mango is, sometimes it will just come right off. This mango is almost perfect. So next, we can move on to celery. Now, celery, this is something special here. This, like the cucumber, has a ton of juice, a ton of water, and just you can, in the end, you're going to be able to taste a hint of celery. It's always going to be noticeable. That's what I love about this vegetable. We could take the plum, and remember, folks, always take the stickers off of plums. They mostly come on plums and starfruit and apples, sometimes in oranges. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be putting those in a juicer. This too has a pit, so you kind of want to cut in a square until you get all the meat off. Now next, we could take a Fuji apple. Remember, folks, we're using 3 different types of apples: Fuji's, Golden Delicious, and Granny Smith's. Now apples, you know what? I just cut them straight down the middle, and I slice them. Forget about taking out the core. You do not need to do this. And we could take a Golden Delicious apple and do exactly the same thing. Tropical mango. Not much difference in taste, except it's just, you'd have to find out for yourself. It's just a completely different eating experience. Very juicy. Just remember, it has a pit, so you want to work around that. And take off the skin, obviously. Next, we can move on to cutting some strawberries. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you could throw the tops of the strawberry into the mix. I'm going to choose not to. Of course, these are very easy to cut. Now with grapes, just put the grapes in the juicer as they are. Just take them off the vine. You don't have to cut them up or anything. That'd be a lot of work. Now this is a Sunkist orange. A Sunkist orange, you'll notice that the peel is a lot more orange. The taste itself is a tad bit more, I want to say sour. Still a sweet orange, but more sour. This is a great fruit to throw into the mix. You'll also see that the inside is more orange too in color. And again, you just want to slice these, or wedge these, I should say. Really juicy. We can follow that up with a Granny Smith apple. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen a Starfruit, but these are abundant in Latin America, the country I'm from. Starfruit, if you haven't tried it, very unique taste. Can't really compare it to anything. You're just going to have to go and buy it yourself and have a taste yourself. So a kiwi, you just split in half. And what I like to do is take out a spoon and just, in a circular motion, scoop out. It's the easiest way, I think. I mean, it works better than fingers. And there you have it. Of course, folks, remember we're using a half a cantaloupe. And you know what I do is just split that half into eighths. But first, you know what? You got to clean it. Just kind of neatly get the meat off the peel, off the outside part. And cut into not small pieces, but nice little chunks. We're also going to use a half a pineapple. I've let this pineapple sit in my fridge for a couple of days so it gets juicier. I think the older the pineapple, the better. Obviously, this skin, the outer part is very coarse. You do not, I'm sure there's people out there that you know, that those who consume glass, have you ever seen those people that eat glass? They could probably handle this stuff, like light bulbs and stuff. I personally cannot. So, pineapple, you just remove that outer part. Not good for the digestive system or the colon, I would imagine. And you know what? Just cut to your desire. And one thing I'm also adding to the mix that I have not yet tried at home, but I can imagine it's going to just intensify the juice, is a honeydew. Similar taste to the cantaloupe, as you know, but in case you've never tried it, it's really what it is. It's on a blind test, you could identify the difference, but really there's so much similar to each other, it's unreal. Once again, you just want to cut these into eighths. Now, one of the last items where we are going to use is, I'm going to use this nice little chunk of broccoli. And there's no right way to cut it. I'm going to stick the whole stem in there. And folks, the last thing we are going to use is cauliflower, which really essentially you're not even going to be able to taste, but just to have the nutrients of this here vegetable in your drink, in your juice, it's a remarkable experience. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to use this whole chunk. I could if I wanted to, but then you all would think I'm insane. So I'm just going to use that. Just cut it. So after you've cut up all the fruits and vegetables, what you should have is approximately 2 lasagna trays full of fruits and vegetables, which we are now going to juice. Let's do it. I'm going to use this container to fill with juice. This glass bowl is going to end up filled with the leftovers of the fruits and vegetables. And as you will see later, and I will show you in a minute, you can then take these leftovers and put back into the juicer again, but I will show you that later. Let's start juicing. Let's turn on the machine. And as I had mentioned earlier, what I like to do is put a mixture of fruits and vegetables all at once, not just mangoes, not just pears, but a handful of each. So, there you have it, folks. What started as whole vegetables and fruits, we turned into some just outstanding, fabulous juice. Good for the body, good for the mind, good for the soul. Overall, just good for your health. So I want to encourage you, the audience, to, whenever you get a chance, try changing up your diet a little bit. Go from those malignant things that you may be eating right now to enjoying a nice blend of fruit and vegetables, turning them into juices, right, Emily?
Absolutely.
We're here with Carl. He's a board member of PATV. Emily is a programmer, and good cheers to everybody. Peace.
Wonderful show.